You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, this is Ahman Green, the Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing. And Bill, the Packer fan and Packer owner, Nick, they run a website for Packer news and updates, and I know Packer news hasn't been so great lately because we got some players that are not Packers anymore that you loved at one time, but you might hate a little bit right now.
Two great running backs. We have a competent offensive line.
He's saying that he felt in November and December that they didn't want him back.
Get a little safety in that position. Either we go.
There's no reason to believe we can't return, but.
And they already came out, there's a couple guys that came out and said that Rodgers and so on was
solution of it, and don't let them go for anything under than one.
And you know what, Packer fans? The Bears still suck. So go Pack Go, and good luck to Bill and Nick, their website, and their Packer news. Talk to you later.
It's a lot easier to come here and skip doing mop-up duty, but he threw the ball all. He kind of looked like Aaron Rodgers the way he was throwing the ball sidearm and just flicking the ribs, and the ball was just jumping out of his hand. Agreed.
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and.
Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network. We've got one special show in store for you guys tonight. Now, how is everybody on the panel doing?
Great. It feels like a morning show, bro. Feels like the morning show.
It does. Welcome to Ken and Ken in the morning, the Frozen Tundra night edition.
Hey, Joe, what happened to the Chiefs, man? You almost had it.
What happened, Joe?
I said that I couldn't be prouder of my boys, dude. Like the way that they showed the Chiefs that we really aren't a joke. Made them shit their pants for a minute, and then managed to still keep our draft pick.
Man.
Couldn't end.
Bro, then they Chicago Beared you. They Chicago Beared you at the end, and just like some fluke thing happened, and the game is over.
So that's what we're gonna call losing in the last 30 seconds now.
Chicago
Bear it. Did you bear it? Hey, at least you got rid of first and bear, second and bear. You remember when it was first and 30, second and 40? Those days are gone. Now it's just down.
Tails are really getting people fired. Wow.
It used to be second and bear,
The Raiders had a flus moment. See, I'm telling you, it's like going around. It's a flus.
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if when they got back to the locker room, Mark Davis came in with a briefcase full of cash for Jackson Powers Johnson and was like, "Here, son, blow this on hookers."
Oh,
yeah, that Powers a holy bunch, man.
Hey, I said that also in the chat. Can we go ahead and crown Bowers now? Or do we have to wait till next year?
No, you're good. He's good. I'll give him props. He's like easily top 2 tight end in the league, man.
Man, what do you think about the Packers, huh?
Bowers there, and you got Nick all excited.
Well, I can tell you what I think of the Packers, John. You did what you're supposed to do, and you beat a team that can't win a game when it's under 32 degrees, and you made it look easy.
That's right, Jack. Their offense was doing like 29 per game for the past 5 games. They're like a 3-game winning streak, a hot streak, trying to get into the playoffs, and they shit the bed.
Dude, I mean,
they came against a team we're physical. We're a very physical team. You're seeing it, and the team is better and better and better each game. And I think the Bear teams woke them up.
Miami just can't play in cold weather. They had moments, right? Miami had some flashes with some plays, but they couldn't sustain anything at all last night.
It wasn't that cold.
No.
Not that bad.
Well, not by your standards, but if you live in Miami, dude, let me tell you something.
I like your
background. If you live in Miami,
that's
right,
not.
I live in the Panhandle of Florida. If it's 70 degrees, it's cold. If you live in Miami, if it's 70 degrees, it's freaking freezing.
Yeah, but you think these guys live here all your own? It's like, come on, man. These guys are young. They're not used to the winter either, man.
Yeah. I was just going to say, for Lambeau, that's like a nice summer day. For Miami, that's like the frozen tundra.
Yeah. It was a good game, though. I mean, look, you didn't have to rely on Love. Love still got to be opportunistic to make good plays. Watson kind of created more separation to be known as the number one in Green Bay. And Josh Jacobs, did Josh Jacob things.
Yeah, Watson has done enough where he's earned a second contract from Green Bay, at least in my mind. With this being a prove-it year for him, he's done enough to stick around. Now, I don't want to hand this guy any type of big contract at all, but a second contract I'm absolutely for.
What's up, James? What's up, Eric?
No, I mean, Dorn, you guys looked good yesterday. I mean, I missed the Cowgirls game because that was dinner time, and we got home from our daughters.
Time.
Yeah, we got home in time to watch the Packers game. And I was looking forward to a good game, and it had some flashes, and then the Dolphins just didn't hang
eaten into the ground.
What happened to them is our defense. Our defense, we got a hell of a good defense, man. Fucking past 2 weeks, we held both teams under 83 yards for both combined. 83 yards combined.
We haven't been this good against the run in a very, very long time.
And what I heard too is they took actually the play calling away from Quay. Now Quay can actually just focus on what he's doing, and I think that's what's changing too. I think that's helpful.
Yeah, because Quay had himself a nice game. It was nice seeing them actually blitz him. Because almost every time they blitzed him, he was getting there.
When that's Gary, they're both meeting at quarterback. I mean,
it was nice to watch him play good defense without Jer for once too. Every time Jer doesn't play, our defense is terrible for some reason.
You're right.
But last night it was fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Van Ness is.
You had Odell. I mean, we pretty much shut those guys down. I mean,
absolutely.
I didn't know they had Odell. I didn't even know they had Odell.
Yeah, Odell signed a team-friendly deal just to kind of make a couple $1 million more, not to do much, because the whole focus of that team goes to Cheetah. It goes to Cheetah and it goes to Waddle. That's where that's where it's Cheetah and Waddle, and he's still effective when they use them.
Well, Archain they use a lot in the pass game as well. He was out there running regular wide receiver routes.
Yeah. He's
like
good.
One of those. They were blaming Tua for throwing the ball where the ball should have been, but the problem actually was that Archain is he's not a wide receiver. He's not going to run receiver like routes. He's going to run it like a running back. So he was actually I want to say 3 to 5 yards short of the actual route that he was supposed to run. You can't really blame the running back for not knowing how to run it like a receiver when that's not what he does.
Yeah.
He was wrong about that one too, Mike.
They've got some good things in Miami. They just got to put it all together.
Are we going to shut down the Lions run game? No, we can't. I don't think we'll shut it down, but all we got to do is contain it.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the
don't
game
get
right
big
there.
explosive plays. Just contain it and make Goff throw more. Goff throws more.
Yeah,
get pressure
you
on
have
him.
to force Goff to try to beat you with his arm. He is a straight, full-blown game manager. If you force him to try to win with his arm, he's going to turn into Jimmy G.
Hey, real quick, you're welcome.
5 interceptions.
Hey, you're welcome for exposing that to the NFL again this year.
Yeah, yesterday he looked like a straight-up game manager, and Lions fans get mad about that because they pretend Goff is so much better than he actually is. But like I was saying in the morning show, like Jordan Love was a game manager for the second half of the game yesterday. I'm okay with that as long as we're winning the game. I don't care what he is, as long as we're winning.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick, you're right. If your quarterback is game managing, that means things are going well. So in all actuality, you want your quarterback to be a game manager.
Right.
Yeah, see, the run game really, that's what they rely on that run game, basically, what they do. And you got a hell of a good offensive line. I mean, in that run game, you ain't going to stop it. You got to contain it. And,
Matt.
And don't let them get explosive plays.
Right.
Hey, Matt, I don't know if I would say J-Mo is a bust. I think he's earned a second contract.
J-Mo,
Joe, you were this fucking close.
J-Mo has played well enough this season, and he's made some big plays for Detroit in a couple of these games. I don't think he's getting earth-shattering money, but he's going to get a contract.
Yeah, I'd give him like a 2-year deal.
One thing about him, you don't know what's going to go happen with him. I mean, that guy's been in trouble so many times, so many.
Yeah, can we agree he's one of the dumbest players in the NFL?
And now this is when I want to thank Booty for not taking a first-round receiver, because you remember all the Packers fans when J-Mo was getting drafted that wanted him on this team extremely bad. I am so glad we didn't do it.
Exactly.
I mean, you're right, but if you're going to give J-Mo a contract, you're going to write. There's going to be clauses in the contract to cover that.
Get old clauses. Get old clauses.
Hey, you see Antoine Randall L treating him like a little kid on the sidelines.
Yeah,
because of the taunting.
Yeah, we threw that ball in that guy's face.
He kind of
J-Mo sat there, started trying to squawk his freaking mouth. He just turns right around to him and shut him down like it was his child.
Yep. He's like, go sit in the corner.
Hey, that hurdle he had against the Bears. I mean, he didn't. It wasn't like the guy was on the way to the ground. No, he hurdled a 6 foot tall man.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, why are you not in the Olympics with that kind of jumping ability? Jesus.
That was a nice play.
And hold on. This comment's just so good. I gotta bring it all the way up.
Mike. I know Mike hates Flus with every fiber of his being, but here's the thing. I think we know he was a good DC because he did a good job when he was in Indianapolis. We know he did good with the defense in Chicago because look at where he's taken it. It could just be that he just wasn't a good coach this year. That stuff got maybe he had no fear that he was going to lose his job. Because some of the things that Pohl said, well, we don't fire people at the end of the year. Which look at, the whole crux of my whole argument on why we weren't going to fire Flus was 105 years of history where we don't fire a guy in the season, right? And of course, we broke that. First time in the existence of the Bears. So I mean, maybe that's part of what got him is because I look, he has been conservative. And maybe that was part of his problem. And then his mouth kind of doesn't.
It was the right choice. He's 5-19 in one-score games. I
don't disagree with any of that, Isaac.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the stuff that Rob's been saying in the mornings about the stats on all that. I don't disagree with any of that. With me, the whole crux of the whole argument was the Bears don't fire people in the regular season. And we've got 105 years of history that supports it.
I don't think it was a good thing that the Bears fired him this week. I really don't. You only got 4 wins. The season is pretty much a wash at this point. Why not let him continue to lose you games and get you a better draft pick? Because what if the interim head coach does a pretty good job and you guys are stuck in the middle with a bad draft pick?
Those players don't want him there. Those players are fine.
Hey,
Nick, in Ken's hands. You like Brown, right?
I don't think the players.
Hey, wait, Nick, you mean our interim OC, who's now the interim head coach? And this is why I kind of agree with you, Nick, but for a different reason. Because there was a path forward where you keep him. But I don't know how you keep. If Brown is not your head coach in Chicago next year, dude, he's not staying.
What's the name? Brisker already said why he got fired. If you see his comment, Brisker said God is always right.
God doesn't make mistakes.
God doesn't make mistakes or something like that.
But I mean,
just to show you that
even God wanted Eberflus fired then.
Yeah,
he did lose the locker room.
So if for Bears fans who are clamoring for Thomas Brown after 3 games of being an interim OC, look, there's some credible argumentation because when he was out in LA, he was up for head coaching jobs and he got nothing but rave reviews, and players everywhere he's gone love him. And there's a possibility, there is a pathway for him to be the head coach. And there's also a pathway for Poles to break the cycle without keeping the head coach. And this is it. If Brown works out as the interim head coach, and he's still running the offense as the interim head coach, which we all assume he will, and the DC we have, whose name I don't even remember right now, but if he can call Flus's defense better than Flus was, and the defense performs, and let's say they win 3 out of the last 5, 4 out of the last 5, 2 of the last 5, most importantly, beat Green Bay the last week of the season. Let's say they do some of that. Then if they retain Brown as the head coach, they just bring in a guy to be OC in name. The current DC remains a DC because he's going to keep the scheme the same, and you break the cycle that way. But if Brown does not become your head coach, well, now you're replacing the head coach, the OC, and the DC next year. And that's where I agree with Nick.
The DC is Eric Washington.
Yeah, thank you, Eric Washington. And he called games. He called the defense in the preseason. I don't think he called any of the plays at all during the regular season, but he's going to be calling the defense now. So if he steps up like Brown did and calls the defense better than Flus did, and Brown can keep the offense going, trending the way it's been going, and they can also win games, and fans are happy, and management is happy, and they say, look, you're the head coach, then it's going to be Brown as head coach, Washington maybe keeps the DC, and you'll hire a guy to be OC in name only.
Well, maybe there's a flip side to this coin. Maybe you hire a new coach that brings in new coordinators, and the Bears take off in a whole new different direction. You know,
you know what though?
We've
You
seen
know
it
what's
with
funny about this whole thing?
That's
You know what's
usually what
funny about this whole thing? Fucking 2 years in a row, all I heard from Bear fans in the offseason, we got the most money, we got all these little draft picks, blah, blah, blah. The last 2 years offseason, you guys won the fucking thing. We're taking it north, not giving it back. What have you guys done?
Well,
all that money, all
John,
those draft picks. You're
John, you
fucking
can't
kidding.
blame them. They got
Garbage. From
John,
fucking quarterback down to your fucking goddamn offensive line. Everything is fucking garbage.
So John, Caleb's not garbage, and you're probably the only person on this panel.
It's garbage. Look at your record.
John, you're probably the only person here.
What's your record the last fucking 2 years?
You're the only person here who would say Caleb is a bust.
What's Pole's record?
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, he's not a butt. Caleb's not the reason. I mean, but you guys needed to move on. Your management, the leadership sucks. That's the problem.
I'm not a big fan of making the interim head coach the head coach the next year. I don't think I've ever seen it actually work. And then you're gonna end up with an Antonio Pierce who's a terrible coach on a terrible team. Also,
Poles has to make up for this. Because John's right, he spent all that money and put all that into it.
Well, I mean
he's got to have something come out of this. He's
got to. You've got so much talent on this roster for next year, even. The core of this roster, the guys you want to retain, are all under contract, minus Keenan Allen, Shelton, and maybe one other. There'll be three. There's three key re-signees out of the free agents, right? I mean, he's got to have a coaching situation next year where they're not reinventing everything and they can win from week one, because it makes his job harder, because you don't want to be changing your offensive and defensive schemes coming into the season. You want a LaFleur type action to happen, right? Where you got like LaFleur comes in, he doesn't have to change the scheme. The coordinator doesn't change the scheme because they play a 3-4-2, and they can just come in and hit the ground running, because if you don't,
if it's me, I want a new coach. I want a whole new everything. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think you should ask Bear fans what they. I mean, I know what you think. You think they should stay with what you got, but I think you guys need a whole new thing. I think you need to
same here. Wipe it clean.
I'm gonna have
you gotta find a quarterback. I mean, a coach that actually wants to bring up Williams. I mean,
I'm gonna have a Joe moment, because you know how Joe always likes to quote the Raiders subreddit. So I'm gonna quote the Bears Twitter. Dude, Bears Twitter is in love with Brown. If you ask Bears Twitter today, they would all say make him the head coach permanently right now.
No. Yeah, but that's not sustainable. You know what I mean? He might look good. He might look good for a couple of weeks, but then if you put him as head coach and he fails miserably, then you're back to square one. No, you want to put a veteran head coach that understands how to fucking make offense move. Well, you want I actually like Joe's recommendation on maybe a Ken Dorsey, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's available, but you know what I mean? Or Liam from the Bucks OC. You want to put some guy that's been there, been through the trenches. You know
who everyone's talking about? A certain guy out of Detroit.
No,
that's the other guy they're in love with.
He's going to go to Kansas City. He's going to go to Kansas City, and Andy Reid is going to retire, and then the Chiefs are going to win 3 more Super Bowls. Watch.
Yeah, he's not going.
That happens. Everybody, we're meeting in.
Where's Chucky going? Where's Chucky going?
Thank you, John Dorn. I was just going to say, there's one guy I would fire the entire everyone if I could get Chucky.
I still don't think that he's allowed to coach yet, because doesn't he still have his lawsuit going on with the NFL?
He's allowed, but he's not because of the lawsuit.
Mike thinks that Vrabel's the right guy.
If I was the Bears,
I'm with Vrabel.
Some guys won't want Vrabel because he's defensive minded.
How about Robert Saleh?
Actually, here's one for you.
He is a defensive mind, but he had King Henry for a long time. He knows offensive guys too.
There's another guy. How about former Bears? Because we love to talk about former coaches and players for the Bears. How about Ron Rivera?
And if I were the Bears, I would fucking, hear the fucking Steelers fans squawking about Mike Tomlin and be like, hey, Mike Tomlin, come to the fucking Bears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Especially if they fire him. If they fire him, bro,
I don't know what kind of message that sends to the Bears organization getting riverboat gambling.
I'm not with that.
Well, Bears fans, we had that obsession with former coaches and players who've done well.
Then we'll have two gamblers on the fucking division. Dan Gamble and fucking
I'll tell you
Riverboat Ron and Danny Gamble.
Mike McCarthy gets fired and goes to the Bears.
No. I'll tell you this though. Usually when the Bears are looking for a head coach, it's because, well, let's face it. Yeah, you got a brand new quarterback, but the team is shit. This time around, you've got a really good team in Chicago player-wise. You've got a good defense. You've got a young, exciting quarterback with weapons. This job in Chicago, if it's available at the end of the season, if they don't decide to keep Brown and it's open, tell me the Bears are not going to have the pick of the litter.
Yeah,
this
but
is going to be the
all
most
that
coveted
money,
job in football this year.
If you're
still
going to
be
go
in the basement next year, so
if you're not going to go for another, if you're not going to go for another OC, if you're not going to go for an OC coach, I would fucking toss Vrabel the bag. Vrabel doesn't deserve to be fucking fired.
Dude,
doesn't
they
deserve
need
to not
to
have
go
a job
for
in the NFL.
They need
You
to
know what I
go
mean?
for an OC coach though. Like in order to get the most out of Caleb, in my opinion, and I'm going to throw a name out there that I think hasn't got a shot at being a head coach yet, and I'm kind of surprised about it. Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
He's blackballed from the league for some reason. Like he's been in the league for so many years, and he's always been masterminding these great offenses, and he hasn't got a job. You know what I mean?
See, this is where I
Gronk
wish they
is
would
a
have
head
done.
coach. Oh my God. I would not want that guy as a head coach of my team.
But this
Not
is where I wish, though.
Jay Cutler.
Like,
Now,
if there's
it's like
one
a
thing I'm mad about
mascot
today,
or
though.
something like that.
If
Sure,
there's
let's
one
have
thing,
Brock in that.
if there's one thing I'm mad about today, is that the fact that they did make Brown the interim head coach, because now it's either you got to make him the head coach or get rid of him. I would have much rather bring up the DC in name only up as the head coach and let Brown just be the offensive coordinator, because then when you don't keep the guy at the end of the season, you can still retain Brown as your OC for the next season.
Hey, I was gonna say you can still do that now.
But Ken, here's the problem. Let's say John is the OC. I just made him the head coach, and next year Rob's the head coach, and Rob says something I don't like. Well, it wasn't like that when John was head coach.
But I think Ken, this might be good.
Cool, man.
I think this might be good for the team this season. Here's the reason why. You say Brown's respected by the fans, right?
And
he might be respected by the players, and that's what Eberflus didn't have. Eberflus was there's reports about him being dogged about the players that we just said, oh, maybe that's not true, but now Brisker just shed light. That's true with his comment. As soon as Eberflus is fired, he shoots off at the mouth, which makes it true that the players felt the same way about Eberflus. If Brown
was on the score over the weekend, and he brought it up, he said that that he lost the locker room, that he wasn't there.
Well, one good thing came out of this though. Now after losing, you don't have to hear that chant "Fire Foose, Fire Foose," so you don't have to hear that no more.
Right.
If you can't find your guy by the start of next season, and you go with the interim,
right,
and give him a shot. Let's say it doesn't work out. I was just looking, and after the 2025 season, there might be guys looking to change scenery. One guy, if the Niners suck again next year, could be Kyle Shanahan. His contract will be up.
Yeah, and the
Niners are about to implode because of money reasons. I mean, he might be looking to get out.
Oh my God!
I don't think Bears fans want to wait on that possibility.
But I'm saying if you guys do choose to go with this interim guy, and that's the choice, and then it doesn't work out, because I'm pretty sure it's never worked out for an interim head coach before being signed afterwards. I can't think of one.
I think if you're the Bears, dude, you fucking toss the bag at Liam, the fucking Cohen, fucking the Bears, Buccaneers OC, dude. Just be like, hey, what is it going to take for us to get a meeting with him? and make him the coach. Dude, that guy.
Do we all agree Ben Johnson's probably not going to happen?
Well, since Aaron Rodgers actually owns the Bears, he just become fucking the head coach.
I mean, two guys. I think
for a while now,
I
Aaron
think
Rodgers could be a head coach. We don't need him as head coach of the Bears. Damn it.
Or why don't you try to take a guy, for example, like Wes Phillips, who has helped make the Vikings a good offense this year with a really shitty quarterback? I mean, why not grab a mind like that who could potentially make your quarterback and do something special a few years later on down the road?
I mean, I think like Johnson's not going to happen. Salah's not going to happen for both for different reasons. Mike McCarthy would never happen in Chicago.
Fucking Montez Burfict is
Matt,
DC.
hey, Matt, it's funny because I was just Antonio Brown, AB, dude, AB. First off, AB's not doing anything with football because now he's making $12,000 every 2 weeks on X.
How
Okay?
about LaFleur's
And his
brother?
X account, look at AB's X account is a freaking riot. I mean, he has no desire to come back and do anything football related.
Hey,
I
Ken, I wouldn't wish Mike McCarthy as a head coach of my worst enemy.
How
At least not this version of Mike
brother?
McCarthy.
Oh, LaFleur's brother?
Yeah.
You mean so Mike McCarthy can go to the Bears and say, I
Yeah.
changed up my playbook, and it's the exact same playbook?
No. There's one new play added in.
Oh, okay. My
Oh,
bad.
you know who's
But
another candidate?
the play is him eating a cheeseburger on the sidelines.
I mean, look, now there's the Bears. The Bears are, like I said, it's a different situation for our head coach because whoever we bring in, they have to be. It can't be one of these guys who wants to. Well, I need to remake the organization to make my playbook look good. No, the players are there. The team has been constructed, right? You need to be able to either run a 3-4 defense if you're going to be the DC, and offensively, you need to work within the confines of that offense, right? The players that are on it. There's no, well, we need to get rid of the tight ends, or like a certain other offensive coordinator we had back in the day. That's why we got rid of Greg Olson. No, you need to be a coach who can take what Foles has on the table player-wise and make that work, or you're not going to work in Chicago.
Hey, talk about Chicago. How about that Kraft, man?
Kraft. Yes.
Kraft's been really showing up, man. I don't know. I was thinking about Kraft, man.
That is the perfect segue into what Nick and I were talking about earlier today. Nick, why don't you bring up what we were talking about the tight end situation in Green Bay?
Yeah, so Ken
we don't
was
want to hear
saying
you
that
guys talk about tight ends.
Ken was saying that he was raised, I believe you said, on a reservation, right? And I said, I thought he was raised in an asylum because the guy's off his rocker. So Ken starts talking about how he's mic'd up, and he's telling people when they're talking shit to him on the field that he's going to go to his childhood home and burn his house down.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tucker
Oh,
Kraft,
yeah.
when people sit there and talk shit to him, he looks them dead in the face with the crazy ass eyes that he's got and says, I'm going to find your childhood home and I'm going to burn it to the ground.
That's fucking
Dude,
awesome. I love him, man. What
He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
He's like Kittle mic'd up, dude. Kittle like says the fucking
love
most
Kittle.
fucking craziest shit. You know what I mean? And so does Kraft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This goes perfectly with what he said last year about how, he loves receiving and catching the ball and all that, but he absolutely loves blocking, hitting the guy and taking his soul from him.
Yeah.
People don't realize about the fucking game, fucking psyche. When you can psych out your opponent like that, you know what I mean? They can
it's not
really
just
take
that.
you out the game. You know,
There's another side of it too. Why you kind of have to be crazy. When I played football, I remember I had to have the mindset that I'm gonna hurt you because if I don't hurt you, you're gonna hurt me. Like I will get hurt on the field if I'm not actively trying to hurt everybody else. I don't want to hurt someone. I don't want to like break someone's leg. But if I'm not watching my ass and headhunting others, they're gonna headhunt me. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah. It's a psyche battle. It's not
You're like marking your territory,
it's
man.
right here.
Don't step over the boundaries, you know. Give him a good.
Tucker Kraft has been a godsend. And I was
go
telling
for a
Ken,
catch.
what do we do when Musgrave comes back? He's always hurt, but I think Kraft is actually better than Musgrave. And if you do a tight end, if you do a dual tight end set, it works with Kraft and Sims because Sims is clearly just a blocker. Now, if you do Kraft and Musgrave, well, they're most likely going to let Musgrave take the routes because he's not a great blocker and make Kraft block. Losing routes with Kraft if you use Musgrave and Kraft at the same time. So
if you split Musgrave out and use him kind of like a slot receiver, you can still have Kraft on the line and they can both still run their routes if you put the formation like that.
I'm actually hoping Musgrave gets back and healthy because I've been watching him in Oregon State. That guy got his hands. That's the thing. That's the thing that we've been dealing with all fucking year.
Kraft has how many drops. Did you see that dive for that touchdown the other week? That dude's been making some crazy catches.
Like Musgrave for the Packers is like Tevin Jenkins is for the Bears. When he plays, you're like, oh yeah, this is good. The problem is you can't keep the guy healthy for 4 quarters of a game.
Well, he's
what
super
sucks?
oafy, too. He trips over his own feet all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times he had a touchdown his first year and he fucking tripped going in the end zone.
He's Tanyan 2.0.
Hey, don't you wish that on Musgrave? He's actually going to be something.
Yeah.
No, just remember how Tanyan, every catch, he's just fall under his own ass.
Yeah, bro. He's like oafy. Like he got clown shoes on.
That's why the 1 year he did great. Rodgers was just throwing to him in the end zone. Hey, if you fall here, it don't matter.
It don't matter. That's why he has 10 touchdowns. He fell into the end zone.
Yeah.
One guy I want to see is Floyd when he comes out, when he gets back.
Floyd? Oh, yeah.
Floyd. Our running room right now is awesome.
I don't know. I actually really liked what I saw from Brooks.
Wilson.
He's good. We
Dude,
got an awesome
Wilson
running back
Brooks
room.
last night.
Brooks is a violent runner.
I like him as the third guy, but I would definitely take Lloyd over Brooks.
I think Brooks averaged like 13 yards a carry last night or something like that.
I'll say this. I think it hasn't really been said enough about Green Bay because it's like in the offseason, the joke was you guys grow offensive linemen in Ken's backyard. But the offensive line for the Green Bay really, well, let's be honest, they weren't that good to start the year. Nope. They have really... And there's a lot of, I hate to bring parallels to the Bears here, but there's parallels. Almost all the offensive lines in the NFC North are if you look at the PFF grades on all the offensive lines, they're all green now. I mean, even the Bears, they're all green across the board. The Packers offensive line now compared to week 1, 2, 3, night and day, their PFF grades have ridiculously changed from the green.
Love has only been sacked. Love has only been sacked 10 times this year. That's it.
Yeah.
Only
10 times. That's crazy.
And let's be honest, the run blocking has been astronomically better. I know that Jacobs is a violent runner and he's hitting better holes, it seems like, but our blocking on the run is insane this year.
You know what I love?
Ryan's been stepping up big time.
You know what I love? Is all those fucking motherfuckers that have been eating crow about Josh Jacobs is washed. Oh, he's a bust, man.
Or wait. Let's hear it. It's a lateral move.
Yeah, it's a lateral move.
Someone who's been great in that aspect that I've been watching this year until he got hurt. Everyone was ragging on Jordan Morgan, and we put him at right guard, and he actually looked really good until he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an outstanding right guard for us.
Did you see his run blocking grade?
Yeah.
Did you see his run blocking grade? Yeah.
He was basically, Nick, he's your Tevin Jenkins, of course, is a left guard, but he's your Tevin Jenkins of your line. Like when he plays, dude, his PFF score, he's gonna have the highest score on the team. He's gonna kill it. But can you keep him on the field for a game? And there's so much of that in the league right now. I mean, look at last night. How many linemen did you lose? 1, 2 that went out at some point in the game and then come back?
0. We have none.
Dude, if you look at
I thought you lost at least one.
If you look at Jordan Morgan when he played against I think it was the Colts, he blocks right here. He opened up a Jacobs lane and he got off that blocker and he blocked another person, so Jacobs could get more yards. Like, dude,
he's
quick,
a quick dude.
Yeah.
And what's amazing too is we've constructed the line to the point where someone like Sean Ryan plugs in and does a great job. Also, like I'm perfectly confident in Sean Ryan replacing him while he's gone.
Yeah, I'm confident in him in the run game. In the pass game, I'm still a little iffy on Sean Ryan.
Well, luckily Zach Tom's right next to him, so the right side's going to get held down regardless. You know what I mean?
guys,
I didn't know that we needed Josh Myers that bad, but we need him not to get hurt.
Either that or we need to have Jenkins sitting there practicing as the center for the whole second half of each practice.
Jenkins.
Here's a question.
I saw
for
the
you guys,
Packers
though.
last night. Real quick, Ken. Sorry, I saw the Packers last night find that grit where Jenkins was pushing dude's head down in the floor.
Not just pushing him down. He buried that sumbitch.
That's what we need Thursday against the Lions. We need that kind of shit.
Or hey, did you guys see last week where fucking Kraft pancaked a Niner?
So here's the question though, because I mean, you know, the Bears have done some of that with Braxton Jones, like on the 2 weeks ago, right? Touchdown run. How confident are you in your O-line? Like for me, I'm like, I like my starting five, and then when I go back into depth, I like maybe two out of the five guys we have in the rotation of depth. So I can say, all right, the Bears have 7 linemen that I'm comfortable with in some way, shape, or form. And after that, I have no confidence. Where do you think you are with Green Bay in that regard?
I'm confident enough in our offensive line that I really think the Lions are feeling like we're starting to rival them in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our offensive line does not let anything up, and neither does theirs. I mean, their offensive line does the best job in the league. I'm not saying ours is as good as theirs, but I think they watch us and go, shit, they're starting to rival us a little bit on the offensive line.
I mean, I know with the Bears, like the last couple of weeks, we've done better on not giving up the sacks, even though we've taken some big ones. With you guys, we gave up 1 sack in the whole game until that last drive, and then it was back to back for whatever reason. I think we gave up like maybe 2 in the Vikings and like 2 or 3 yesterday. So the Bears O-line's better. Like Larry Bourne is my 7th guy. I'm comfortable with him for spells, but not for a quarter and a half straight. Right. So that's where I'm at. I'm just wondering where you guys are at. Like how much more depth do you think you want to bring in on that line? Because you have some of the same issues I've got. You got a guy, your right guard is lights out when he's healthy. I got a left guard who's lights out when he's healthy. The problem is I can't keep him healthy.
Well, like I said, we got Sean Ryan, and we're all confident in Sean Ryan. He's been good for 2 years now. We have Dillard. I haven't been able to see Dillard, but a lot of people say that he's a really physical guy, so I don't know anything about him.
I like him as the swing tackle.
Plus we got Monk yet.
I don't think our depth is amazing, Ken, but I do think that we have enough guys that we can rotate. We got a lot of rotational guys.
As long as you don't lose a guy for 3 or 4 games, you're okay.
I think we're more comfortable on the line too. That fucking Jordan Love can maneuver and run. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? He doesn't have a broke dick anymore, dude. You know
me and Ken just talked about this morning. One thing that Love finally did last night, he took a sack, but he moved into the pocket. He moved up in the pocket. He climbed the ladder. He hasn't been doing that. He's been injured. He's been going off his back foot and trying to make miraculous shit with his arm. Dude, move into the pocket. But then again, he was hurt. Maybe he wasn't able to move into the pocket.
Yeah, like look at the Vikings and Lions game. I'm not trying to make this an excuse. You know what I mean? We lost those games. Yeah. It is what it is. But Jordan Love couldn't fucking move in those games. Yeah. Like he couldn't plant his leg. Like he was limping in that Lions game. He was limping in that Vikings game.
The last Lions game, we put over 400 yards on them. We got it. We could move the ball anything we wanted to, but when we got in the red zone, we shot ourselves in the foot. 2 botched snaps. We had 2 drops in the red zone. We just killed ourselves.
Are you talking about the Lions game?
Yep.
We missed the field goal. The only field goal McManus has missed all year.
Yeah, we beat ourselves.
Well, look, Sarah's in the comment mad at Rob now because the Bears fired Eberflus, so she's blaming Rob. But why? You know why Sarah's mad?
I was talking a lot of shit about it too. I was.
You know why Sarah's mad? Is because the Bears and the Packers have both figured out now that the Vikings are beatable and how you can beat them. And the Bears showed people yesterday that you can touch the Lions. and you can score on them in the second half, and you can put up points in their home stadium. And guess what the Packers are going to do the next time they play the Lions? Trust me, the Packers coaching staff.
We did that on Thanksgiving. Remember last year? Last year they were all confident
they saw the
they were going to
tape.
beat us.
They're watching the tape of what the Bears just did, and trust me, the Packers. If you're a Lions fan, get what you just saw the Bears do. Get ready to see the Packers do it to you.
Just like last year.
I think the second half of the Packers-Vikings game is
You're right,
where
Tom.
they started feeling exposed because they were blowing teams out, good teams too. They were blowing Green Bay out, and then we all of a sudden started smacking the shit out of them in the second half.
Well, think about it though, Nick. The Lions coming into this week against the Bears have put up 50-plus points a game for 3 games. They hadn't given up a second half score in weeks. They hadn't given up a second half touchdown in forever. They hadn't given up a running back fumble in a year. All those things happened this week.
I think our division is so good that we're exposing ourselves because the Lions didn't necessarily do that great against us either. We pretty much beat our fucking selves.
Yeah.
That was just a bad game by Green Bay. The Lions didn't do much.
And you know what's cracking me up is Lions fans are already getting the excuses ready. Oh, we got injuries.
I
Like
see
Green
that.
Bay doesn't have injuries. We've been having injuries
but
all
Isaac-
season.
Every team has it.
We're
wait,
3-0
Isaac-
with a backup quarterback. We've had injuries ourselves, man. We don't have Jerry Alexander.
But
We
you don't
didn't
even
have
have to
Josh
say
Myers.
that.
We don't
You
have
don't
Cooper.
No,
We
you guys
have
know what the
Musgraves
appropriate
everywhere.
response is to a Lions fan that cries about
AJ
that?
Dillon.
Well, wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, you were talking about all the grit you have when you came back from 16 points down against a team that gives it up in the second half faster than a hooker on a fast Friday.
Yeah. What happened to
What
biting
happened to your
kneecaps?
grit?
That's no
Do you not
longer
have
on the
grit
table
anymore,
when you have
Lions fans?
injuries?
And Ken, on top of that, they always talked about, oh, we put up 50 points. We put up 50
Yeah.
points. Your offense wasn't injured at all. What happened to
Yeah.
that offense?
There's
You know what I
something
mean?
I'm noticing. There's a trend these last couple weeks where I feel like the Lions were really good at beating up bad teams, just like the Vikings and the Packers were really good at beating up bad teams. But they're starting to look a little more just like yesterday, a little more exposed, a little more holes. And all of a sudden, Green Bay is looking like the Lions thought they were gritty. We're looking like the bullies right now. And I really think Thursday we're going in there and we're going to punch them in the mouth again. I really feel that way too. And I don't care about the injury bullshit. Go ahead, talk about injuries, and I will laugh my ass to the bank with that all day, every day.
Well, we were saying how they were better without Hutch than they were with Hutch. We were seeing the Lions defense has been playing better without Hutch than they have with. So what's their excuse? You lost Hutch and your defense got better over the last couple of games.
Hey, Lions fans, take it from us. We went 15-1. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
I actually don't like it. I hate it. I actually hate it
when we went on a streak.
I kind of hated when we were 13-3 because it was like all the pressure is on us. Like, and I'd rather be 11-6 or 12-5, kind of skating through, beating teams in the playoffs, and then finally when we get to the NFC Championship game, it's like it's on and popping.
I want to go into the playoffs hot.
Yeah, you know what? No, you know what's funny about that? A lot of veterans talk about that. You need to be humiliated. You know what I mean? You need to be humiliated in a couple games. Get humbled. You know what I mean? That makes you a stronger team. It is true.
That's why I think when we came off our bye, we played the Bears, and that was a close game. They should have won that game. And I think that woke them up. Like, wow.
Wait, John, can you say that one more time so I can record you saying that?
I'm
the
just
Bears
saying.
What?
That will come up, and they're like, okay, and then all of a sudden we played the 49ers. They played a lot better. And now in this game, it's like, no, you ain't coming to our house. You won 3 games in a row. Your offense was clicking, man. That offense was badass.
So Sarah said when they went 15-1, wasn't it when the Vikings went 15-1? They lost like 40-0 or something to the Giants.
Yeah, that was the season they had all those. They had 11. No, but wasn't that the year that the Vikings won 11 games by 1 score?
No, they went 13-3 that year.
That was 13-3. That's right.
When they went 15-1, you're right. The Eagles
they had the number 1 defense, and that got destroyed.
Now let me just say, for when the Vikings went 13-3 and they got Daniel Jones that contract, I want to thank every Viking player, staff member, and fan out there because that's what got us Xavier McKinney.
And look at Daniel Jones repaid the favor by joining signing with the Vikings.
Hey, what about
they worked it out in a backroom deal before the game?
Right.
98.
What about the
was
Patriots
1998.
too?
I think that was when the Giants blew them out then in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it was a couple years
What
ago.
about the
yeah.
Patriots too? The Patriots had that perfect season, and then
And the
look what
Giants
happened.
got it.
We're gonna say the Giants are just a damn
Can
good
we all
spoiler.
agree? Fuck the Giants.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. After
No.
the 07 NFC Championship, and then in 2011 when we lost to them, absolutely fuck the Giants and everything that they stand for.
Actually,
No.
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Before they played us in the 2016 playoffs, again, they went on that boat ride, and we put the Giants down on that downhill.
That's
They
right.
started submerging. They started fucking tanking their own boat. I mean,
It's all right. We actually got
Joe has
we got one good laugh out of that because we were the ones that beat the fuck out of them in 2010 and pretty much took them out of playoff contention until the Eagles ran back that punt, and then we won the Super Bowl that year. But
and hold on, Nick. Just because this went fucking perfectly with what you said in the morning, Joseph, Nick would definitely like to take that bet.
I was going to say that. Please DM me. I will bet you. I'm not saying the Lions aren't that good. That's not what anybody said.
Right.
They are not infallible. You know what I mean? They
well,
are
here's
not
the thing.
perfect.
Look at the teams in our division. The Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings have won a lot of games outside the division. Now we're getting a lot of these division matchups, and all four teams in this division can beat you. The Bears will find a way to lose, but they can beat you. I mean, they can beat you.
They really could.
I mean, look at we just played 3 games in the division and lost all 3 games by a combined total of 7 points. The Bears can hurt you, right? The Lions can hurt you. The Vikings can hurt you. The Packers. All 4 of these teams in this division can hurt any team in the NFC.
Black and blue division.
we all know a lot of fucking Lions fans were changing their underwears like at that last minute. Of that
Oh, they
Bears-Lions
were.
game.
They were. I mean, that's how division football in this division goes. And if you look at all 4 of these teams, regardless of record, just look at the people on these teams. All 4 of these teams have guys that if they became a free agent, you'd be like, I want at least 5 of those guys or 10 of those guys on that roster. All 4 of these teams in the division are stocked with really good talent. So it's not that the Packers are going to wallop on the Lions because the Lions are frauds. No, it's going to be a good game, but all our teams are just that close, records aside. Yeah, the Packers' record isn't as good.
I just think this Thursday is bad timing for the Lions, and it's perfect timing for us to get a win out of them.
Oh yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean the Lions aren't good.
Where's the game at?
It's in Detroit.
It's in Detroit. Hey, we won in Fraud Field like last year.
I'll be on a cruise ship, either Progresso or Cozumel, on the way to one of those places, Cozumel or Progresso. So hopefully,
we're playing good football right now. We're playing.
And look at you know what I mean?
Lions fans have it on the cruise ship. I can watch the game.
Look at Lions fans always talk about, why can't you be happy for us? Like, were you happy when Green Bay was winning anything?
No,
they were division rivals. Not supposed to be happy
Isaac,
for each other.
Isaac, hold on. Let's be happy for them. For the first time in their franchise's history, they've won 11 games in a season. They're 11.
You're right, Lions fans. I am so happy that the worst franchise in Super Bowl history finally has a reason to jerk themselves off at night.
Oh, wait a minute. And
they
finally got three winning seasons in a row strung together.
I
guys are like
little brat. I get to watch my fucking team 3 times in a Super Bowl, win 2 out of the 3.
The Lions have been chasing a supermodel their whole life, and they finally got a drunk chick at the bar to get with them, and they're like, "Why aren't you happy for me?" Like it's like, bro, I remember my first beer too. You know what I mean?
Show me
evidence. Lions and Vikings fans, Dorn, they can't understand this. Okay,
but you know
Between
what?
the 2 of us,
every
we
single
got
Lions
all
fan,
5 we've got all 5 Super Bowl appearances in the last
even though
50
the Vikings haven't won one, they have sustained success in certain ways where they have brag-worthy accomplishments. The Lions just have absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, show me any Lions fan that said, "Oh, Green Bay, please win the Super Bowl."
I mean, every 3 years or every 2 years, the Vikings would boom, they'll do a good run, and they'll sack off a year. They're doing a good run, and they'll sack off a year.
So I want to tell you guys a stat real quick. There's a really cool stat real quick where the Bears actually they're not that bad against the AFC either, but they've had a rough season, obviously. The Vikings, Lions, and the Packers are 14-0 against the AFC this year. 14-0.
That's right. We represent.
That's pretty wild, man.
So what you're saying is an NFC North team is going to beat Lamar in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or Mahomes. I don't care.
Lamar ain't going to make it there. Lamar ain't going to get there.
Yeah.
Wait till next year. There's going to be a dogfight next year.
Derrick Henry will get him past Mahomes.
Ravens always turn
the ball out of Lamar's hand for the game.
As much as I don't want the other teams to be good because I want my team to win, it is kind of refreshing to see the division go back to what it used to be because for so long it really was just and it's not just the Packers' view of it. The whole entire league was watching the Packers smack around the division for a bunch of times, and everyone's kind of like, okay, is this ever going to change? Now it really is. And it's
back in black and blue, baby.
Bears only have 4 wins, but they're still competitive. They're still difficult to beat.
Think of it this way: if you're Seattle or San Francisco, you've got 2 games. You got a game against the Bears coming up. Both teams do. Even with the coaching issues and everything else, they're still a good team. And if your playoff hopes are on the line, do you really want to play any NFC North team?
No, nobody
does.
does.
No, you don't.
Best division in football.
If you're the Eagles, if you're the Lions, if you're the Vikings, if you're the Packers, if you're the Cardinals, the Seahawks, I don't care who you are up in the top echelon, the Commanders, you do not want to see anybody in this division right now.
Yeah.
Like Lions fans, your team is great, but you're going into this game Thursday there's a possibility that we could definitely lose this game, right?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to face any fucking team from the North. You don't want to run into in the playoffs.
Already. Look at our injury list. Look at our injury list.
But it's the same shit for us. I'm going into Thursday I know that they're complaining about the injuries and blah, blah, blah. And we feel like we should win. We could very well get whooped in this game. It's the fucking Lions, man.
And Dorn, if they do that, all you got to do is say, but wait a minute. I thought Detroit had grit, next man up mentality.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because that's what you were screaming about for weeks. We have grit, next man up mentality in Detroit.
They say we can't. They say we can't use that excuse with Jordan Love being injured, playing against them. They say we can't use those excuses for the players that we had out. So it is what it is.
Sarah,
we all hate each other, but that's right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'll tell you what. There's only one team.
If you get Bears fans, Vikings fans, Packers fans, and Lions fans in an NFL chat room, and someone says the NFC North would collectively put a team together to beat any other division, all of a sudden you'll see those 4 teams, those fans come together and go, we will whoop every fucking division. We got the best players, the best teams.
So, here's the funny thing, Sarah. I mean, look, there's only one team that's not the NFC North and the NFC that I think has any kind of swagger to play against the North right now. And that's the Sheagles, because Saquon is just fucking wrecking it. I mean, outside of the Eagles, I don't see another team in the NFC that scares the NFC North.
Nope.
No.
Not to say that some of these other teams aren't good. Yeah, they're pretty good. But when push comes to shove, I'll take any NFC North team against the Cardinals come playoff time.
Against the Saints, against the Falcons, against the Bucks. Like, I'm taking the NFC North, man.
Yeah.
Look at the homes today.
We have 3 teams that have 9 wins.
Green Bay should have beat the fucking Eagles that week 1. If that field, I swear. And look, you know what? Saquon Barkley messed us up that game too. And I still feel like we should have. There were so many opportunities for us to win that game. Yeah. That field, I swear, was the worst.
If Jordan Love doesn't get injured on that play, I still think we win because he was setting it up for Rodgers' miracle win.
Oh, dude, that 50-yarder to Jaden Reed.
I
was
know.
He
like,
dropped
holy
the dime
shit,
to the
dude.
middle of the field. I mean, I think we're going to kill him. Are we going to win that game for sure?
So let's do this real quick. Since we got 6 minutes left, let me ask you guys. I want to ask one question real quick that I feel strongly about. ESPN came out and said that they project that Xavier McKinney will win Defensive Player of the Year. Do you think that was the best pickup in the division as far as
100%, dude.
Best pickup in the league. I don't know who. I mean, he has benefited our team more than anybody. Who's done a better job?
I don't know.
I mean, all right, Barkley. I'll give you Barkley.
I was going to say Barkley.
Yeah. But other than that, who else? I mean,
Defensive Player of the Year.
So Ben's going to say defensively. So I think defensively, you could argue the league.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the AFC who had a big defensive acquisition that paid off like that.
You got an AFC and a NFC and AFC. So yeah,
well, I think the guy that's going to give him competition is Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson, even though the Bengals are freaking pretty trash, he has 11.5 sacks. He's destroying shit with the Bengals. So that's
a lot
the
of
only
people
guy I
said
can
TJ
think
Watt,
of.
Kirby Joseph. There was a
Kirby
few
Joseph's
names,
playing
but
well.
ESPN predicted that Xavier McKinney would win the award. So I don't think that's far fetched.
As far as defensive signings, free agency wise, coming into the season, right now McKinney is hands down the best signing in the league.
Oh, 100%.
Did you hear the story that McKinney gave where when the Packers offered him the contract, he went directly to the Giants management and said, I'm going to give you a chance to match this.
We saw it on TV live.
Yeah. And they straight said no.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild to me.
Same thing with Barkley.
But you know what, though? I mean, it comes down to all the other variables, like how they fit in the team. Where's the team's money constraints? What are they trying to do? How does that guy fit with that contract? If I give him that contract, now I can't do this, that, and the other. I mean, I get it. There's sacrifices you have to make. But for the Giants, they weren't trying to spend that kind of money on McKinney or Barkley. They had a price point that they just couldn't, that they physically couldn't go past.
To me, it makes more sense with Barkley than it does with McKinney.
Daniel Jones for that reason.
And now Daniel Jones is cut.
Yeah.
And Barkley is probably the best offensive pickup in the league, free agent wise.
He probably is.
Well, don't give Jacobs some time. We still got 6 weeks. He can be.
No, he's still got to get past Jacobs has to get past King Henry and
yeah.
He's in third.
All right, bro. That's all that's in front of him. It's got a task, but it ain't unstoppable.
The only guy that can take over Saquon for that is Henry right now. Henry's been amazing also. But I think Saquon's got it right now.
I think it's funny the top 3 running backs in the league all signed as free agents this year from different teams.
They're resetting the market. They are going to reset the market. And they're going to reset the value of the running back all of a sudden.
They already have.
Yeah, they already have, yeah.
Hey, fellas, have you ever met Xavier McKinney?
Yeah.
That guy right there.
Or Xavier McKinney.
Hey, you know what I love about
the worst part is Isaac came up with that name 3 days after I ordered my McKinney jersey. I would have got it customized otherwise.
You know what I love about watching Frozen Tundra is we get to see babyface Ken on the intro.
Kiss my ass.
Forget about it.
So for the last minute, real quick, I want to talk about just the Vikings and Cardinals real quick. Cardinals are winning that game, bro. I really think
Fuck
so.
yeah.
I really think so.
I'm not joking. Down a peg. Sorry, Sarah.
Nick, if I pick them on my pick 'em, I'm going to kill you if they don't win.
Don't be like Ken and pick the Raiders over the fucking Chiefs. I don't know what that was.
If Jackson Powers wasn't a moron, I would have been right, and I was going to rub that shit in everybody's face.
Nick,
that's why we call him
McKinney. We know that Ken is taking the Cardinals because of the Keebler Elf is on his fantasy team.
Daniel Carlson turned into Anders Carlson all of a sudden.
Yes, he did.
You know what, though? That's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, but the Vikings should win that game. But it just depends on which Cardinals team shows up.
Right. And the Cardinals just blew a crap game against the Seahawks the other week. I'm telling you, it's just like that. It's like when they played great right before they came to Green Bay, and then they got their ass whooped, and then played great the next week. Dude, they're coming to Minnesota, and they're going to play really good. Watch.
Hey, speaking of that play, Dorn, didn't you want Jackson Powers?
No.
Like Marvin Harrison Jr. has had a significant drop off in his production over the last couple of weeks. So if that trend continues, the Vikings will win this game. They got to find a way to get Marvin Harrison Jr. back involved in that offense.
And James Conner. James Conner was not involved last game. You got to get James Conner involved.
Trey McBride. Come on.
That'll be a good game, though. I'll probably – is that a noon game? I'll probably miss that one. I think I get off the boat. I get home.
Early game, isn't it?
I'll get home at about halftime of the Bears game from the cruise. So I think I'll miss the first half of the Niners game.
And he's a free agent next season.
Anything these days with a smartphone. I don't miss nothing.
It is unfortunately that time. We want to thank everybody for watching, especially thank you guys for taking your time to comment on the show. Have yourselves a wonderful night and get ready to kick some lion ass Thursday. And as